And Stevie just turned and went, you know what, fuck this, we're doing our own band.
But I walked in and I just seen him sitting in this seat looking at the window at the hills. I was kind of taken aback by it. So I went to the studio and I says, it's a good idea for a song. We signed with an American booking agent who books Billie Eilish, right? Massive. Evo. So we hear a song I've wrote for the Rangers. When he moved for Rangers, copied in the whole marketing team, told them about your song called Make Us Dream. We want to jump on it. There's not a lot of time limit. Can you please send the version over? We want to get in right. I've not wrote a song. I just was having a laugh.
Right, welcome back on Inspiration to two new guests that aren't our staff for a change.
Thank you very much for having
two of
us.
the boys from St Phoenix. Well, you are St Phoenix.
Yeah,
St
St Phoenix.
We've got Al and Stevie.
Yes. Thanks for having
coming
us.
on. Thanks for joining us.
Coming on.
I think we kind of spoke over social media, didn't we?
We did. And we had to kind of stop talking before this podcast started because
we've just had like half an hour of class stories.
I know,
the podcast is going to be boring as fuck.
Reel them stories back out again, aren't we?
But so thank you very much for having us. We are in the midst of making a second album. Well, we've made a second album, and the second album is something that we put our heart and soul in. It basically happened through COVID. So my dad, before he passed away, he was getting sick of pulmonary fibrosis, basically a scar of the lungs, and over a period of time, his lungs would stop working. So when we went, he said to come up to my house, build a studio, come in the garage, there's a studio there to be made. So we spent all of COVID making this album, and basically at the end of his life, that we wrote a song about him. It's called Happy Place, and when we released that song, kind of changed tact of what the sound was of the band, what it's less rocky, less alternative. So we had this album just sitting and just shelved for a while, but when we play live, we play the songs off it live. So we'd put Happy Place out, did the EP, got in the charts, got #1 in Scotland, everything was going good, and then we were in Nashville this year working on new music, and then we just thought over the last wee while, we've got that album sitting there. I mean, that's a year's worth of work. There's a lot of pain in it because we're up at my dad's every day when he's not well, and you're seeing him every day, and it's real and it's honest, and we absolutely love it. So we dug it out and we listened to it.
That was my idea, by the way, bring this album back to life.
You were right, you didn't get a word in
I know,
edgewise, did you?
listen, if anybody's watching this, I'd go for a pee every time Stevie talks, because you'll be here for a while.
Is that you get your bit in?
Do you want to take us right back to the kind of the start? Obviously, two of your brothers.
Aye.
How does, if you've always been in music?
You were in a previous band before, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah, and then you did you leave that band? Did they have different musical interests, or was it just you and your brother wanted to set something up together?
Well, the interesting thing is there's a lot of themes in this band, and one of the themes will be, and you touched on it with TikTok, me being the front man, me being the face. I do a lot.
He's actually said that with a straight face.
Maybe in the main man.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm glad you said it.
I've got my wee brother and he hides in the background.
Wow.
For years and years of carrying this guy, my back is sore. Right.
Should be a walking stick.
So basically,
Did you build the studio by any chance? And
obviously,
he just records
I did the heavy lifting.
he does. He does the.
He gets his nails done.
Aye. So basically what happened was this is the true story. I was in a band years ago with my best mates, and they went away to Australia for a gap year out. I was doing my singer-songwriter stuff, and then I used to be a drummer in the band. We got a drum kit up the loft, so he decided to start practicing drums. So I'm noticing that he's playing drums. He's actually not bad, but he's doing all right.
I realised I was better than him.
And then so he starts a band with his mates, and
they're terrible. They're terrible.
they were bad,
So bad.
but they had potential. They had this wee frontman guy. He was like a wee mini Pete Doherty. He was brilliant. His best mate Mark was a guitarist, really great guitarist. So I said, listen, I think these are quite good. I'll help these write some songs, right? And see what happens. If it's rubbish, then it doesn't matter. So we wrote this song, and Jim Gertley's playing it on Beat 106 and starting to get radio play. and everybody's talking about it, a bit of buzz about them, right? And then they're playing gigs and tons of folk are showing up. So I start writing more songs for them, right? And they're starting to look the part.
You wasn't happy you were getting the limelight here,
Oh,
was
no,
it?
I was-
honestly,
I-
it gets worse.
I was all right. I was all right. And then they chucked him out the band, right? Because they thought he wasn't up to standards, right? So his best mate chucked him out the band.
Honestly, I'm standing at the side of the road waiting to get picked up, right? that's how bad it was. I was waiting to get picked up with all my drum stuff was, got a phone call. I think somebody else got to fill in the drums for you today. I was like, what do you mean? Like, well, basically, they don't think you're that good, so we've got somebody else. I was like,
at the side of the
there,
road.
I honestly sticks and my cymbals, my snare drum. I was just like, so I'm not getting picked up then. It's like, no, you're not getting picked up. I was like, all right, cool, cheers, bye.
How was that walk back him?
Oh, no, I was just standing at the front door. It was all right.
To be fair, mate, that happened to me at football, man. I was at 4 for
I'm
Athletic.
to the bestest.
And they were like that at the end of the season. Obviously, you come back, report back for pre-season. They're like, right, we'll get in touch with you, tell you the dates for pre-season. You come back in and that. Still waiting on that. phone call, mate.
I know. So I was just like, right, Stevie, they've kicked me out. And then they kind of kept playing the songs. So I had no clue about this thing. I was like, all right, just let them go. And Steve was like, they're not playing my fucking songs. I wrote these songs, right? So I was like, all right, can you start it? You kind of deal with it. So Stevie's talking to the guys and saying, you can't play the songs. Anyway, they kept playing them. And Stevie just turned and went, you know what? Fuck this. We're doing our own band. And I was like, I wasn't good enough to play in that last band. I'm going to have to play in this band.
I'm glad he's in
Your brother believed in you. That's what matters.
So he bullied you into making you better.
Aye. So we
Or
started.
he had nobody else either.
I didn't, to be fair. So my mates come back from Australia and I told them this. I said, we're starting a band. I didn't ask them, so we're starting a band and we're playing these songs because they're not using these songs. So that's what we did. And next minute we're just, I didn't even have a plan to do it. I was doing singer-songwriter stuff. Next minute I'm in a band with my brother, my two best mates. So we're terrible. We're all over the place. We meet the guy who used to manage. He manages the streets. Mike Skinner in the streets.
Still love the streets back in the day, man.
And he managed the Zootons, right? Guy called Tim Vegan, great guy. Through a mutual friend. He's a big Man United fan. So Man United were playing Rangers in the Champions League. This was years ago. Rooney scored a penalty. So we were at the Rangers game. Took him to the game, and he said, "Right, what he's wanting to do?" I says, "I need a bit of guidance." He says, "Right, stop what you're doing. Just stop. You're making a mess of it." And I went, what? Completely.
You're like, that's not always the guidance I was looking for.
No, just get up. He says, "No, stop playing random gigs. Stop just doing what you're doing. Go and write the best song you've ever written, and then go and write 4 other brilliant songs. Put that in an EP. Book a wee club. Sell it out, and then repeat the process 6 months down the line in a bigger place, and then 6 months down the line repeat the process." So we started doing that, and sell out Nice and Sleazy's, sell out the art school, sell out the Archies. Jeff Ellis at DF Concerts, he was like what you're doing, what you put you on Tea in the Park. So that was our goal when we started. We just want to play Tea in the Park. We've been going for years.
That was your was that your first sort of thing?
That was the first
goal
thing
to aim for.
Aye, just if we play Tea in the Park.
What year would that have been? Because obviously Tea in the Park's been finished for a while.
2013, aye. 2013. So we are 10 years ago. So we were like, listen, if we just play Tea in the Park, we die happy. So play Tea in the Park, brilliant. Then it just keeps getting bigger. So next minute we're selling out the ABC and we're getting on tour with the Cartinas and the Fratellis. We play a bigger stage at Tea in the Park. We get a dress. So we get to into the Artist Village at Tea in the Park. So Craig, our promoter at DF, says, "Listen, it's big time now, so it's going to be a lot of folk, celebrity folk. Don't do the full thing. Just act cool." No bother, mate. Aye, no bother. I can hear talking about. So we get in. So the band used to be was called Vigo Thieves, right? So you've got Calvin Harris, Vigo Thieves, Rihanna, right? The dressing rooms. Mumford and Sons, they're the dressing rooms. So we get there, man, and wee Greg was with us, and Calvin! Fucking selfies, the whole man. Rihanna, the whole
I
shebang.
had Jake Bug in a headlock. Jake Bug was playing table tennis. I was, Jake, here's a photo. And he's like, I'm trying to play table tennis. I said, take you 2 minutes, mate.
It's like
Brilliant.
something new for you.
Oh,
Feeling
it's
like,
class,
this is
man.
like
it's just
excitement from it.
Two guys who you just do not let people for wish you in a certain bit, because we was like free haircuts, massage, you could get whatever, just like free drink.
Making the most of it,
Oh,
yeah.
I still have tea in the
Oh,
park
it's
back in the
brilliant.
day.
But it
So it's
was-
kind of been replaced by trans, but obviously that was kind of further down the line as
Aye.
I've done transmit and stuff like that.
But Tea in the Park was the pinnacle. So everyone was going
So
good.
was that with the old band then?
Yeah.
The old band.
That was the old band. I've always still got big aspirations as a songwriter, try to get on radio and take the band as far as we can go. So there's a guy called Raymond Mead who plays bass in Ocean Colour Scene. So we've known him for years. So he came to one of our gigs and he said, "Why have a coffee with you?" I said, "No bother, have a coffee." So sit down with him. And he said, you should message the manager of the Killers, because you sound like the Killers." I said, "I love the Killers." So I'm a pound shop Brandon Flowers, man. He said, "You should message him and ask him to manage you." I said, "I no bother." So I go back. I said, "Just met with mate Raymond there." He said, "We should message the manager for the Killers." So next minute, his messages. "How you doing? We're a band from Scotland, 2 brothers with best mates. Got some demos here, looking for management. Hope you're interested. Can't wait to hear back from you." Nothing back. No.
Can I just say, it took me about 3 days to find who the email address and get the actual contact. It wasn't just a simple message, by the way. There's some work that went involved.
DM on Instagram.
Was they like that?
Left
Leave me
it
around for
unread.
talking too much. I'm trying to condense it. Anyway,
You're missing out crucial parts.
sorry. So anyway, I says, "Did that boy get back to you?" He says, "Nah, didn't get back to me." So he gets home. "Excuse me, I emailed you last week. We're a band looking for management and we've sent you demos. I find it quite rude that you haven't got back to us. I was expecting a reply, very disappointed, Alan Jukes." So next minute, this guy emails back, "Reynolds Music Management. Please accept our apologies. We get thousands of demos a week. We're going to listen to your demos, and if we like what we hear, we'll get back to you after the weekend." Right, okay, fair play. So we're in rehearsal. He's got his phone, man. He said, "Steve, that boy for the Killers has just emailed saying he loves the stuff and he wants to jump on a Skype call." So right, okay, let's go. So we get back.
It's almost like getting scouted, isn't it? At football, eh?
100%. That's exactly what it is. You get these people in
nice.
high places messaging you,
Aye.
people of importance. So we're buzzing.
Not even that, we're getting dressed up for a night out to go on a Skype call. You're like,
Just for men.
Just for men.
That was before the just for men.
That's just before it.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. So after that, so we get the guy in the email. We found that the guy that manages the Killers is called Robert Reynolds from Las Vegas, but the guy in the email that's replied back to us is called Mac Reynolds. So it must be his brother or something. So it turns out it's a band called Imagine Dragons. So they manage Imagine Dragons, or Mac manages Imagine Dragons, Robert manages the Killers, and their brother Dan sings in Imagine Dragons. So it's all a big family thing. They're all lawyers. And this guy, Mac, messages, there's a Skype call with us. So we turn on a computer, big fancy office plaques everywhere, and MTV Moonman Awards and Grammys and all the rest of it.
What was in your background?
Some dodgy.
Killers album.
I'm actually
Big picture of Brandon
I
Flowers
just
on the
think
wall.
there was a football with 2 oranges and a banana.
And a pineapple. So he said, "Listen, I love your stuff. Really, really like it. Really refreshing. Tell me a bit about you guys." Talking away, just and he said, "So what's your aspirations?" I said, "Well," and this was back then, wee bit too cocky. "Want to be the biggest band in the world?" Straight faced. And because I wanted to be the biggest band in the
I
world.
know.
And I was like, "Want to be the biggest band in the world?" He went, "Right, we've got some work to do then." So okay. So he pretty much mentored us for probably 6 to 12 months, maybe not about a year, probably about a year.
Maybe more than that, a year and a half.
maybe more. Skype calls every week. There's a guy in his management company called Jordan who was going to be who was the day-to-day manager of the Killers, and they were looking for him to find a project to manage full time. So he was going to manage us. So he said, you need to get your songwriting better, you need to get your production better, you need to get everything geared up to be better. So my main goal for the Vigo Thieves at the time was any money. We never made any money. We all had jobs. We all worked with our dad. Gordon worked with his dad, normal jobs. But I wanted the band to be self-sustainable. So if we are playing gigs or recording, I don't want to put more money in, or you put them. The band makes money. That's going to recording. So we had all this.
Were you meaning keeping your jobs and the band being self-sustainable?
Yeah.
Or do you mean going full time with the band and being
self-sustainable? The goal would be always to do music full time. But at that time, the band didn't make enough money to give wages to 5 guys. But if we were ever needing anything like rehearsals or studio time or anything like that, or van hire to go and do gigs, then the band make the money and it comes out the band pot, so nobody's out of pocket. Yeah. So we used all the money that we had to get into the recording studio. We found these 2 guys in Glasgow. One of the guys called Ross. We still work with him. He's did all our stuff, all our production. He's an amazing producer. I went in with him, and he just... I was producing all the stuff myself in my bedroom. We met Ross, and it was like, man, he's light years ahead. We've actually found a guy that can make any music. I can tell him what I want, and he just does it.
Experience is key as well, isn't it? Having that extra little bit of knowledge that you maybe never had, it just definitely makes such a difference.
Helps bring the best out in you as well, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
1,000,000%. And my dad always said, surround yourself with good people and good things happen. Do you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I spent about a year.
I've not listened to that at
all.
I know.
That's because you're a wee bit younger than him. He was
don't you partner with him now? I thought we were best mates.
I know. I feel sorry for him right now.
I'm still at the side of the road in my bag.
He's playing on the curb with the drumsticks.
I was going to say, sometimes it just takes somebody you look up to say you're doing well to make you do better, doesn't it? Because sometimes when you're doing things, obviously when we've got the business, you're doing well, but you're kind of in the middle of an ocean. You don't really know which way to go, but it's just sometimes takes somebody to come in that you go, respect, and say, you're doing well, keep going, and it kicks you on, doesn't it?
It's putting an arm around you and saying, listen, you've got potential, you're doing well, but this is what you need to do. Yeah. And I'm not joking. See, when this guy Mac talks, it's like he's like, a lot of people ask us, younger bands, etc., about how do I do this, how do I do that, and I just relate back to what this guy Mac told us, and we met in person a couple of times on Skype calls. He's like a Buddha, man. He just, everything comes out his mouth. You're like, oh my God, man, he's just so simple. So we went in the studio for a whole year. Well, we were working with our dad. I was in the studio. He was making the money so I could go in the studio.
So heavy lifting, you know.
So
it's
a common team here.
So we made all this music, and I was getting so excited about it. So excited. I was like, this is a game changer.
Was this still for the other band?
But this was still for the other band. But the other band just left me to it. So after about 6 months, I came back to the band and I said, listen, this is the new sound. Because I'd done all the drums and guitar and everything myself in the studio. And they were like, this is a bit different. This is a bit poppy and a bit, it's not as rock and not Killersy. Guys, this is what we want to be doing. So it just wasn't, the guys just weren't feeling the sound. And I had a total, crisis in my hands. I've just spent all my money, or all our money, all our time and effort trying to get this band to the next level, and they're not into what we're doing. So I emailed Mac again. I just gave him a big heartfelt message. I said, I don't know what to do. I've failed. I've messed up. Changed the band's sound, and nobody's into it. And he said, listen, I'll give you the God's honest truth. You can go anywhere in the world, and I'll find you a 5-piece indie band. I'll go anywhere and find it. Name me a place in the world where I can go, and there's 2 brothers from Scotland doing this stuff. I said, there's only one of you. Mm-hmm. So I would advise you to start something new just with the 2 of you. The key word that people are looking for moving forward is distinctive. Are you different from everybody else? that is the key proponent.
Authentics, probably.
Authentic.
What
Yeah.
makes you you? What makes you stand
yeah.
out? Yeah, so what's your USP sort of thing, isn't it?
1,000,000%. So I was like, man, that's the most obvious thing MD said to me that I just didn't think
So
of.
simple as
I've
well.
been
isn't
seeing
it?
it for 6 months before that.
You just knew that if it was just used to, he couldn't kick you out, innit?
That's it. No, you'd just be going solo, mate. You'd just be solo.
Listen, I'm just using it as a stepping stone. I'm out here.
So the band were we're all best mates here. Listen, we get it, and the kind of band that's came to the end of its life. He says we enjoyed the ride. They kind of let me get on with it. Went and we
Were the boys cool with that?
boys
Was
were
that,
best friends to this day,
still keep in touch with those lads.
and they're like all good. So
Do you think there's a bit of resentment for the boys? Like now, like looking back, going, oh, we should have went with that. Like I wish we did.
At the end of the day, if they didn't like that sound, they wouldn't have felt it. So
I
they
don't
wouldn't have
think
been
so.
into it,
I
do you know what
think we did the Barrowlands 2 weeks ago. A bass player Gino phoned me after it. He was just, well, you know, man, I'm in tears here, man, watching all his videos and all that about you put a post up about your dad not being there. So that was a goal, man, and to play the Barrowlands is just unreal, and I'm so made up for you.
I actually seen that on Twitter. Was it like I looked at Twitter just before I came in, just had a wee look in that, but just like it was bouncing.
It was brilliant.
Was it class? It looked bouncing, man.
It was tremendous. But Gino was like, he was cool. He was like, listen,
See, by doing
happy
those
for
like
him.
wee small gigs over time, like the advice you got, like I'll do one, then leave it for 6 months. It's almost like creating supply and demand. It's like
And
I want to go
massively.
and see that. I want to go and see that, but I can't. It's
Aye,
like, and
aye.
then,
Did it
and then
prepare you
someone-
for that big one as
Yeah,
well? It's like
that's right.
practicing, isn't it? Like that you do sort of stage up a wee bit.
well, we've been terrible. We like as musicians and performers. I mean,
It's shocking.
when we
Actually
basically when it got to that band stopping, it was like, right, what do we do now? What do we genuinely? What do we do? We've got these unbelievable songs. We
so
know
funny.
I'm a graphic designer, web designer by trade, so I can put all the visuals together. He can lift, so we can do some.
What did you do before?
Was that a salesman? I used to sell energy drinks.
So we our dad had a
Prime.
energy.
Selling Prime.
We invented
Sell
it.
energy. My goal was just to find out buyers' emails and pester the life out of them. That's how it works.
Well, you got a job for us.
You just pester the life.
To be fair, it's obviously helped you getting.
Listen, I'm just keen on my job these days. That's all I'm doing.
So we remembered back when he got the Killers guy's email, he had to scour the internet. So back then, if you go on Facebook to a major artist, you go to their about page. Doesn't happen anymore, but their managers' emails were all in every artist in the world. So I had a web design company at the time, and we had this piece of software as a tracker on an email. So if I sent you an email, it's like a read receipt. I would see that you've read it, and then I would see if you forwarded it on, I'd know who it's forwarded to. So it was a tracker. So we did this. We found every major artist in the world, right? Every mate. But we're still talking to.
We loved them.
So the Imagine Dragons guy, he was like, listen, I can't commit to managing it now. So we still talk to him. I just can't. I've got some. My life's just too crazy. We don't have anybody else to take you on. I don't want to let you down. Okay. So we started going on all these Facebook pages. So we had like Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, Calvin Harris,
Diplo.
Avicii, Diplo, any big artist. We got all their email addresses.
Oh, it's funny.
Hi, we are St Phoenix, a brand new project from the UK looking for management. Here's a SoundCloud link to our demos. Love to hear your thoughts. Boom. Must have sent.
Nothing. Like there's nothing online about. There's no.
Oh, there's nothing.
No bios,
Nobody knows who we
nothing.
are.
Just a music link.
Just an email and a music.
Just
link,
an
that was
email.
it.
Class.
was-
and a tracker, obviously.
And a tracker. But we can also see through the SoundCloud link who's been listening to our stuff. Next minute, this tracker goes off its tits, man. Ding, ding, ding,
Oh, it's
ding, ding,
brilliant.
ding.
Hilarious.
Email replies. Love it. Who are you?
It was like followed to all these different record companies as well.
I saw these managers were sending it to Atlantic Records, Polydor,
Columbia.
all these things, and we were going, holy fuck, man, this
know.
is happening.
So you're actually seeing like the
Yeah,
email
in real
address,
time, it was amazing.
GDPR.
It's good as
man.
well. See, like keeping like that mystery as well behind it. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
So there's all that intrigue. Oh,
Yeah.
you're actually good, and
Yeah.
nobody knows anything about
I
you.
think we found that as a brand early days, like the 2013 when we started, 2014, because we were just, even to this day, we're still online.
Yeah,
So it's that the people get that bit of mystery. Of
Don't
like,
really
I
know
see
what's
an
going on.
advert. I wonder
Yeah.
what that's like. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to buy a
Aye.
t-shirt. I'm going to buy a pair of jeans.
Aye.
I quite like that. Nobody else has got it. Or it's just that hype.
It's the
a bit
mystique.
like-
It's the
Yeah.
total mystique.
That guy from we had a call with a guy from
21
Pilots manager, and he's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know if it's guys, girls. I don't even know how many's in the band, but I can't find anything online. It's really, it's refreshing but frustrating at the same time. I just want to know who it is. And he's like, the music's so good. I was like, fucking, this is going to be good. He's like, can we set up a call? Had a call with him, had a chat, emailed him. No reply. So he must have seen the teaser and thought,
I prefer the sound of
no,
than the looks of your
aye.
strips.
but then we started getting more people just emailing, but it was all the time. It was constant. Man, this is amazing, but nobody was really like committing. But everybody was interested. So in the meantime, there's a company in England called Centric who get music placed on TV, like Sky Sports, all the adverts kind of thing. They're massive at it. So I emailed a guy called Alan McRae who used to work at Radio 1, and I said, listen, looking for some advice, man. Try to get management to go, but I'm just eager to get this stuff up. He says, listen, I'm going to send you tracks. I do a bit of scouting for Centric, for new bands coming through. Ed Sheeran started at Centric. Kasabian started at Centric. That's how they all start.
Yeah.
I'll put your stuff through. So Wednesday gave him the email. Friday gave him the email with a link on it. Emailed me back. Watch Man United versus Chelsea on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So you watch it, man, and at the end credits start playing their tune. This is crazy.
What a feeling, eh?
How did that
Because you boys are into football as well. Massive football fans.
Brilliant.
See,
So
how
it's
does
like
that?
to see that is like,
I was buzzing. I
Aye.
was like, oh man, that's your song on the TV.
Instantly.
Oh my god, here's Rio Ferdinand.
It was. Well, like, this is insane. So one of the guys at Centric at the time called Alistair, got our number off Ali and said, "Give me the lowdown. What's going on?" Just explained to him the whole thing I've just told you guys. He says, "I've been here for Centric for years. I get sent music all the time. I get it placed. It's the best stuff I've ever heard from. I've worked here. This is going to be something. I love it. Who's your management?" I said, "We don't have management." He said, "I want to be your manager." He says, "I've got one of my friends in London. We both want to manage you. Would you consider it?" So I said, "Well, I need to speak to my business partner, the heavy lifter, to see if he okays it. I'll get back to you." So he said, "Well, we want you to come down to London tomorrow morning. We'll book your flights. I want you to come down tomorrow morning." I said, "I'll phone you back." So I said, "Oh, it's to come to London," and I was excited. And he goes, "I've been chasing this for the last 10 years. I want wine, dine and 69. They can come up to me. I'm not going anywhere."
I know. Right. I'm not paying again then.
No, because he wanted us to, and I phoned him back and said, "Listen, can you not come up here? So we'll fly you down. If you want to stay a night, we'll pay whatever you want. Just come down."
No, I'm thinking,
Take
here we
that.
go, business class, British Airways or something like that.
You thought you'd made it.
EasyJet.
Oh, I was so excited.
Yeah.
No, Ryanair,
Ah, there
even
you
worse.
go.
Even worse, man.
So we get down to Soho House, and we get in, and who are now our managers, Mark and Alistair. We get in, and the other guy, Mark, who is just no filter, man, he's mental. He just goes, "Well, I think he's amazing, but there's no guarantees. This could be a huge punt, and you could probably be back selling energy drinks, but I'm willing to try." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "If we haven't got you a major record deal offer in the space of a month, you can sack us. Simple as that. Is that good for you?" Well, aye, right, no bother. So we walk out and I goes to her, I hate that guy. And I goes, I love him.
I loved him. I thought, man, he's brilliant. I love him.
So we said, right, well a month contract then. If you're going to talk the talk and you walk the walk. Within the space of a week, we had major record deal offers from Atlantic Records, Parlophone, Polydor, Ministry of Sound, Warner Records.
Was that some buzz? Like
Just-
getting all that?
Well,
The
spent
food was incredible. It was brilliant. You kept getting taken out to dinner.
Career man,
Yeah.
career man just
Oh.
after the grub.
I was like, Mark just kept saying, listen, they'll take you out to dinner, so don't hold back. Like, order whatever you like. Don't feel like, oh, you know, the company's paying for it. Don't worry about it. So I would go in and just tear it up. Every time you could take from him, it was brilliant, man. So this is some grub.
So did you pick a
Brilliant.
record label based on who provided the best meal? Is that?
No,
is
this
that-
is what
that's what we
happened.
should have done.
That's what we should have done. So you got all these record contracts through, and it's like, do you want to do this? You want to do that? And I was like, I've been waiting so long just for this moment. Let's just put pen to paper and let's do something.
So does the management give you good advice on?
Oh, this
on
is the kicker.
Terrible advice.
Yeah.
He's like,
No,
no.
it's in the short term, terrible advice. Long term, great advice.
To see that the contract there, that's the best one. I was like, cool. He's like, we're not going to take it. I said, what do you mean we're not going to take it? He said, we're not doing it. We're going to build a store, we're going to do it ourselves. I'm saying to him, we've done this for like 10 years, right? Proper heart and soul, blood, sweat, tears. There's a bit of money there. Quit the jobs, do music full time, do an album, put a heart and soul in it. No, we're not doing it. Just tell him forget it. We'll do it ourselves. The time I was thinking, this is the what? Whoever told me this is the worst guy ever, right? And it was like about a year and a half, 2 years.
What's that?
He just pure shite.
So no, it was basically the advice is listen, this is we had a guy come Republic Records at Universal come over from America. We took him to Dalmarnock, just outside Celtic Park, to a rehearsal space.
Oh,
And it's a fucking dodgy den.
Where about was
It's called Swanson Street. It's where Alec Morrison's gym is, the boxer.
Is it Clyde?
Abercrombie?
Abercrombie Street, kind of around that.
so the
that's
big
where
red,
we started.
the big red building, the big red.
You might,
Right, so
Big
see,
building.
Twin Atlantic used to have a recording studio 2 doors up
Yeah,
there.
just two doors.
Right.
Where we our first office when we moved out of Mark's flat,
right,
we had stock kept for
Aye.
the first 10 months.
going
We
crazy.
moved to Abercrombie Street. And
Is that Dalmarnock? Is that Dalmarnock?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of
it's around
similar
about
area.
that
aye.
area, I
Yes.
think, mate.
It's
Oh,
Brigton. It's Brigton.
Brighton.
Brighton, aye.
Listen, nothing against that area, but the place we were was an absolute dump.
It wasn't great, to be fair.
That wasn't good, no.
So we take this guy for the Public Records in, and he's like, "What the fuck?
I know, man.
Where are yous? Am I going to die here?"
I thought, just kept thinking he might.
And he said, "I've got one issue, and it's the biggest issue. If we sign you, there's no story. We've found with acts coming at the gate with these big songs, these songs you've got, a big anthemic kind of songs. They're bands, they're songs from a band's mostly third album, not their first. So people can smell bullshit. So if you're coming out the gate with these kind of things and you have no story, it's going to be tough." So that at that point, that's when our manager went, "Let's build a story. You guys are brothers. You've got plenty of stuff to do." We would just want to sign a record deal, like dying to sign a
Terrible,
record deal.
terrible.
It's funny
Yeah,
because we would never I would never think like if you've got like big songs, about like right, just release them. But obviously they're trying to create like a story behind you so they can sort of sell you as a brand.
Yeah,
At
pretty
the end of the
much.
day, a music band is a brand. That's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of like anybody. You look at the like big hitters across the world. They sell their brand name
Yeah.
as not just like that person makes good songs.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
so
story.
true. Aye.
It is a story. So we reluctantly turned down.
See, now I think that wouldn't have made a difference, just to be honest.
Maybe.
I don't think it would have made a difference if
But
you just
listen,
released any songs.
what I
Good-
mean, because
good
the
music.
story wouldn't have been as good.
Oh, no. I'd have been maybe retired by now. but-
That'd be a good story, wouldn't it?
So then we just started doing our own stuff. We got booking agents, and they're like, and it's booking agent. Big, it's called CA. The CA, they do football as well, but they do sports.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get in, top floor, best booking agents in the world. We've never even tried to do this new thing live. We haven't even tried it.
Not even
right?
rehearsed at
Right.
all. No
What
idea.
it sounds like, no idea what it sounds outside the studio. And the guy, two big booking agents, all right, we want to sign, we love your stuff. so tell me what's the live show like, right? And Alan leans over, right, and goes, night vision, right? And I'm looking, I'm going, what the fuck?
Some salesman, by the way.
He was playing Call of Duty that night, right? The day before. He went, night vision. And he went, we love it.
Hey, listen, it just total curveball. I just went, if you're looking down that scope, a rifle, it's a sniper rifle, and you see it, and it's night vision.
Black and green. Night vision.
Neon green, like white, and this guy was explaining that to me. I get it, I love it. And I was like, cool. He walked to the room and he goes, what the fuck?
That was genius.
I was playing Call of Duty last night, man. It's first thing came to my head.
Brilliant, man.
So
Not
then,
lie, just like, it's funny, just everyone's just winging it, isn't it?
Oh,
You're just winging it.
We are kings of the wings, man. That's
biggest
we
heist
call
in
it the
history.
biggest heist in history, and it gets better.
I know.
So then we just start playing. He puts on all these like Reading and Leeds and all these different big festivals. We got to support Imagine Dragons in the Roundhouse, but it's just the 2 years, and it's really tough to try and. I'm playing guitar, I'm playing sample pads, playing keyboards, singing. It's completely alien to what I was used to.
Did you find that difficult to start? Obviously, you had like 4 people in a band. You can kind of rely on those 4 people. Did you find it difficult going from 4 to 2?
Massively.
You kind of feel
you've got to be in the top.
exposed.
Probably got to be in the top of your game.
You kind of
non-stop.
feel
See when you're in a band of 4 or 5. I guess
Aye.
you can carry somebody along the way, can you?
it sounds daft.
Aye, you can.
It's it feels quite lonely,
Yeah, a bit exposed.
a bit exposed, and it's hard when you're looking over at the other person who doesn't know what he's doing. Do you know what I mean?
Hold on. I'm
Who's looking
playing.
at who here? That's
Aye.
the problem.
Actually, and so in the early
There
days,
must be some scrapping along the way as they're used to
No,
fighting.
aye,
Did
it's
you
not-
see-
that's-
did
it's
you
not-
see the view last
that's
week
not that-
fighting on the
aye,
I've
stage?
seen that. I just brought back memories.
Aye.
But,
Not quite as bad as that, but close.
we were kind of all over the place, and our managers manage other big producers and big writers. They don't manage bands, so they're kind of like try to give us advice, but at the same time they don't really know. So it went for probably about a year and a half. We were getting millions of streams on Spotify. We were getting our music played on Sky Sports, Sky adverts, all the rest of it. But social media was dead. Nobody knew who we were. We were big in Scotland with Vegan Thieves, but we didn't really want to focus on that. We wanted to focus outside Glasgow and Scotland because we've already done it. So we were just plodding along, just trying to build it. And our dad got diagnosed with his illness. So that time we were both working with your dad, and the doctor said, you need to wrap up your business and retire because you're only going to die quicker. You've got 5 to 6 years left. You'll be dead in a year, 2 years if you don't quit. So at that time, we were relying for the business, for wages, etc. Because we did get a bit of money throughout like the early days at Phoenix, but at the same time we started to do a bit of work. So we're like, what do? We genuinely don't know what to do. And then it was getting tougher and tougher. And we said to the managers, listen, have we missed the boat with this record label thing? Because we're trying to build this story, and I just got to keep going. We'll work something out.
It shows how like patience is so important, and we found out with the brand that patience is like we're probably the most impatient people in the world.
Aye.
Used to probably are.
100%.
See, you've been doing something for so long as well, like the 10 years saying like, just sign the deal,
Just
deal.
do
They've done
it.
it for 10 years. Here's the big, they'll be
Aye.
earning a bit of money. It's
Absolutely.
like,
But that's what I'm saying. You see the big and go, that's just the money there now, but it's not. Then we've realised now the end goal's not really that, because it's like that's a short term thinking. All right, great, that relieves just now's problems, but doesn't help in the long term. But at that time
We were
was it the American agent?
so we were thinking about jacking in. Well, it was certainly in my mind because I was just worried about my old man, and that was kind of consuming your thoughts. But he's like, listen, he says, fine. And to be fair, my dad at the time, he didn't look ill, didn't act ill. He just knew that it was in the post. He said, just keep going, keep batting, and we'll find a way. So we signed with an American booking agent who books Billie Eilish, right? Massive. Still books us today, called Tom. So signed with him. Week later, going to take you out to San Francisco. There's a big tech company out there doing a big corporate show. We're going to pay you $10,000 for 45 minutes.
Nah, I'm thinking
10 G's for 45 minutes. Let's go. So we're on checking the longest and cheapest route to get to San Francisco.
Make it as profitable as possible.
We need to take home some dough.
Because they were going to hire all the equipment. So we were like, great, don't need to put any equipment on. It's just your clothes. Great. And it was like...
It's the expenses of getting there.
It was like 330 quid. I think it was return for the 2 years, right? I'm saying...
Because Wizz Air...
It took you about 8 days, but didn't
Wizz Air. It was not even in business anymore.
So we
had to walk the last 8 minutes.
So we jump on this flight. No, sorry. So we're at, right, I'll shoot you in. So then we're thinking, I get an email for the booking agent saying, listen guys, we're not just going for a day, we're making this a whole week. We're going to make this worth your while. So there's a big industry night called School Night. All the major record labels in America and the world go to this one club and watch all the brand new emerging bands. So we're going to get you playing there. We're going to get you playing a thing called Winston House. It's like a thing for creatives like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. It's all the top guys in there. They go to this wee house and you play an acoustic show.
It's like a trial match, isn't it?
Aye. You do that, and then we're going to do a show with one of the guys at Panic at Disco. He's started a new band. I've got you support for them in San Francisco. That's fine. So how much that costing us? But
I know.
Because the top line's getting eaten into here. So we worked it out, and it was like basically to go and do that, we had to take all our gear now.
Yeah.
To take all our gear, get it all over there, hire a car, stay for the week. It was thousands and thousands, about $7,000 or something.
But you get withholding tax like 30% off your top line, so it's like they'll hold that until you sign a social security number.
So the 10 G's went to $7,000, and then that's just all away. So we get there we're staying with our manager. He lives in.
It's just reinvesting in yourself a little bit, though, isn't it? But it's not like
at
what
the
you
time.
want.
You don't think at the time.
You
You don't think at the time. So we stay with our manager. He's got 2 young kids at the time. So we're in
camping beds next to each other, right? And I'm honestly paper thin sheets, paper thin walls. The kids are screaming. 2 years are like, oh man, this is tough. This is tough.
He's going to us, right? Big show of the night, guys. We get there. It's called School Night. Youngblood just signed $1 million record deal by playing this show 2 months ago. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, cool. Just stand out, be out there. You know what to do, right? No bother.
He's got genuinely the worst advice ever. Be yourself, but don't be yourself.
That's his advice every time we go on stage. Be yourself, but don't be yourself.
It's quite funny, just talking about the football side of things, because it's almost like you will see when you were younger and that you wanted to make it as a football. It's like, right, playing a game today, and it's like this person watching you go and play well. You're like, well, I didn't plan on playing badly.
I know.
I'm thinking,
thanks for telling me.
I know. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Some pressure on that one performance, isn't it?
Well, that it just emphasises that rather if you're relaxed and go and do your thing, then you'll naturally get where you want to go. So the start we used to wear tracksuits, right?
Oh, it's bad.
So I've got this Nike
tinfoil
aluminium tracksuit on, right? He's got his black Nike tracksuit. So we get to the venue, we're looking at the gear, and it's the shoddiest stage, the shoddiest
honestly
mics, all the rest of it.
You can't even like put the hi-hat stand up, it falls down, and then you put everyone up, it falls down. So the drum kit was like way down here, like a wee drum kit, and I was going, oh guys, can I get other stuff? And they're like, that's it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
So we start sound checking, playing. So I get him backstage, say, listen, put this on. So what's this? I gave him a skull mask balaclava, right? Right.
So stand out.
So we've got to tear it out, man. Ellie's not going to know what's hit them, man, right? Get this on.
These 2 mad guys from Scotland.
So
brilliant.
People just come. And it's packed. You can't get moving. But 400 people in this room, and we are ready. We jump on stage, and how you doing, Ellie? We are St. Phoenix from Glasgow. Make some fucking noise. I'm fucking playing guitar, and then we just got a song called Reload, which is right rocky, man. It's really rocky song, and it always goes down well. We start playing, and there's a couch right in front of the stage. and there's a guy and a bird. Music industry people just not giving a fuck, just talking to each other. I've got a skull mask on, tinfoil jacket.
I think we were like slapping each other before we were on to get right up for it as well.
And I'm getting 110%, right? And this couple just
it's so
just
funny.
He's
raging.
So I'm raging, and just the vibe is kind of like.
Plastic.
Basically,
Just another band to them.
Basically, MD plays there. It's the same vibe. We're thinking, is it us? Are we? What we doing? So next minute, he stands on a cable. His bloody ears go out. So and then the computer stops working, and then because we've got backing tracks, so everyone's he falls over and all the rest of it. We're like, oh my god, what's happened to you? Anyway, and the show just gets worse. There's like a 5-minute delay because we're trying to get the backing tracks working again. And then I can just see my manager up the back going like that. He's just covering his eyes. Oh no. Then I can see the booking agent over there going like that as well. I know. So we're like, my God. So we come off totally dejected. Yeah. Like dejected. Taking all the stuff out to the car, the manager's car, and we're screaming at him. You tell us to stand out, and he said, "Didn't tell you to put in a balaclava." Right?
No, he goes. He's putting some stuff in. He goes, "Listen, if you wanted my advice, Oasis would have did an acoustic set." I was like, "Oasis? I'm no fucking Oasis." He says, "You told us get those jackets on and rock the fuck at the place."
And then the booking agent's going, "Listen, don't worry about it. It's fine. She played their shows." He was, but you could kind of tell me he was disappointed because. We were hyping ourselves up, but the time really we still probably haven't figured out what this live thing was. Yeah.
So how long ago was this?
This was
2018.
Yeah, okay.
Had you played quite a few gigs, the two of you, by that point, or were you still sort of like you say, learning, like sort of learning your trade a wee bit?
Probably.
Did we do Great Escape Festival 2017 or 2018?
Can't remember. Wait, no, it was. No, we just did Great Escape. Or did we?
No, Great Escape was the May.
We were kind of we're getting better, but we still weren't there. Still figuring it out. So we were gutted. So next day, we're playing this Winston House show. Justin Bieber's played it. Ed Sheeran's played it. All these big guys just do these legendary acoustic performances. So it has to be acoustic. So we do this acoustic set and we tell the story about our dad.
I know, I messed up.
He's making it as if my dad's dead at the time, but he's not died yet.
I mean, the full place crying.
Everybody's greeting. And we start playing, and we actually play brilliant, right? And everybody's loving it. And the manager going, told you should have done acoustic, right? So we get a wee bit of, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. And then we go to San Francisco, and we play this support. And it was all right, just to way to top off. It was 500 people there. Loved the show. So my manager left us for the weekend. We get this corporate show that's fun and everything on the Monday. So, but we're in San Francisco on the Friday. So we've got a weekend. So check your bank balance. We've got no money. We've got nothing.
$160
nothing.
between the two.
We're getting hee-haw. Right, and he's going, how am I going to Alcatraz? How am I going to Alcatraz? So we're walking about San Francisco with no money.
And it's not the safest place. I'll just say that.
Mental. And I've got celiac disease, so I'm gluten free. Right? I have to be gluten free everything, right? So anything we're eating, we're sharing, is gluten free, mate. Because you're just eating what I'm eating, right? You've got to feel my pain.
You're not having a great time.
And
it's not the flattest place either. If you're walking about,
and this is the thing. We said we'll go to Alcatraz. We'll go to basically the beach and look at Alcatraz across the seas.
So that's what we did.
We've been to Alcatraz.
So we just did the sightseeing, but like just walking everywhere.
Budget sightseeing.
And we're in this 1-bedroom apartment, sharing a bed. And Rangers are playing Celtic in the cup. It was a semi-final. I think it was a semi-final final. Pedro Caccina's manager. We get absolutely gubbed. I got up at 6 a.m. to watch it. Instantly in a bad mood. And then the Coachella highlights are on. And I'm going, this just looks so good, man. And Portugal the Man were on it. They had a song called Feel It Still. And when we were releasing our first stuff, Portugal the Man's, our stuff was like neck and neck with them in this big playlist, but they just shot up, and we didn't shoot up. I think, man, we could be there, and I just turned to him and I went, I think I'm done. I think I've just had enough. I can't do this anymore, man. I thought
I
genuinely.
think sometimes it's easier to probably speak to your brother about stuff like that. See if you've got like a mate or a band and who are like, I don't want to get up. Whereas like the two you can probably are quite close.
You can't be honest, just be.
Aye, that's probably one of the.
I says I don't think I can do this anymore, and I'd never, even with the other band, never felt like that before. I never felt like, because everything was about defiance, because people would say you're never going to make it. Anyway, I'll show you. That was the fire in my belly. And for the first time, I maybe thought, what
do you think made you feel that? Do you think it was just sort of like, maybe one too many rejections, or seeing that other band that you were neck and neck with go ahead, or what do you think it was?
I think it was the fact that I genuinely thought I had written the best songs that stood up with my peers. And I thought, if I can match them, I think we can emulate what they do. And we released all those songs and they got the numbers, they got big numbers, but the band didn't really take off the way that I expected it to. And obviously turning down a record or multiple record deals, you're thinking, maybe I missed the boat. Nobody's going to come back in, because all those amazing songs that we had have been out. So the record labels aren't going to come for them now. And we've turned them down. And, I said, I think I'm done. And I said I'll give him a bit of praise. So he turns to me and says, you can't write a song with the main line in it saying, one day I'll be king and gee up. So shut the fuck up and go make me a cup of coffee.
Unbelievable.
Salesman, isn't you?
Man of a few words. Hey, night vision. So I says, right, fine. He's right. You
heard that on like a pure game or something before, didn't you?
He's right. So I said, all right, we'll keep going.
Sometimes that's all it takes. So like, say like we talk about business and like your band and stuff, but like I don't think I could do it on my own. Like, do you know what I mean? There is times when you're down. Like obviously me and Rob are dead close, and you do need that sometimes. So he'll be down and be like, I'll be like, mate, fucking come on, look how far we've got. We can go further. Do you know what I mean? And
what's
it's
the
like,
next day?
You need that.
See, talking like the neck and neck thing. Like, see, going back to like the earlier days of being inspired, like 15, 16, 17, we were probably like maybe people would find it hard. We were neck and neck with probably like Gymshark.
Yeah.
And there's that one. It's like, well, we make better product than Gymshark. How are they getting like where they're at?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it's like our product's better quality. It's this, that.
Yeah.
But our
brands
brands
like
maybe in a different.
You say in it. Sometimes you've got
that.
Like
the story's the thing that maybe then.
What you do find out is speaking to a lot of your peers. Speaking to the Imagine Dragons guys and everything else, or we went into with Capaldi and Youngblood, it's all timing. If you keep in the game long enough and keep
that's the main. That's where you see that.
We say that all the time.
You stay in the game.
The first 5 episodes that we've done on the podcast, we've said the same thing over and over.
Football career, like what we do now, just hang about long enough. Just hang about long enough, and people take notice of you eventually.
You just aim at the game is staying in
it. Stay in the game and keep showing up, but keep going at 100% what you're doing, and it will happen. So that was the kind of thing that our dad always told us: keep going, just keep going. If you can walk through a lake full of shite, knowing at the other side you'll be fine. Just keep going, because a lot of folk just don't even bother going, or they just stop halfway through. So we'll keep doing this band. So we play this corporate show. All these nerds. I know it's not been. They're probably gonna watch this and go, "Thanks, man.
Thanks, man."
The guy called Tim that owns the company.
Great guy. Calling him right away.
Brilliant guy.
The guy called Tim's an amazing guy. He used to be a punk rocker, right?
Did any Sex Pistols?
Off the wall. Loves his music. Moved to San Francisco. Probably winged it. Got a massive, successful security online security company. But all the guys are all tech nerds, and they're all just turn up for this band, man. So we're getting treated like royalty behind like any bottles of Jack, bottles of tequila, but everything, whatever you want, you can any food you want. So we play a 45-minute show, actually no pressure on us, just enjoy it. And then Tim's like, listen, we'll be in touch again. I'd love to do something like this again. I'm sure I'll see you again. So listen, thanks so much for having us. We had a blast. So we fly to Iceland.
I was going to say, elation to deflation. Treat it like royalty. Was there the next day.
Was there? Was there to
Back down with that bag.
Many
Oh,
stops.
honestly.
Many stops on the way back.
It was only Reykjavik in Iceland, but we get there.
Bad.
So I says, what's the company bank account situation?
I would jail with $12.
With $12. So
Then
we're
you
sharing
converted
this.
it to whatever Icelandic crown, whatever it is. It was like
Krona.
£8 or something, 7
I don't even get a pint in Iceland
Oh.
for that.
We're sharing this rice cake or something. Meanwhile, the wives are back home and saying, "Did you get a record deal? But
How much you get left?
how much you get left?" And we're like, "Oh no, we've no money." But it looks like we're having the best. Well, don't worry, we are having a great time. You're just travelling about,
course.
right, with your brother. But there's nothing to show for it coming back. So we come back from LA. We are kind of tailed between our legs. No record deal. No real money to get back in the studio and do anything.
Mm.
We've released all our big songs. Now, what's going on? What do we do? So anytime our manager is in LA time, anytime he phones you during the middle of the night, you know it's a good call.
You need to answer it.
You need to answer it. So I was sleeping, man. And about 3 a.m, phone goes FaceTime. Boom. I said, wake up. He said, I've got you a deal. I said, I've managed to secure a deal. It's the same terms as the original record offers we got, but we get full control to do what we want.
And the first thing I said was that guy at the school night show? He
He
says,
said no.
aye. I said, he's a fucking psycho.
No, he'd seen us in. There's a showcase thing. He was asking about Great Escape in Brighton, and it was brilliant. And the American guy Ron, he turned up.
He was there.
He saw us. One of probably the only time we were absolutely brilliant.
No, he was there at
Thank
school
God.
night. Thank
But
God.
he said, I want to sign you. So we got off the phone and went, we've got money to make the album. We've got money in our pockets.
I know.
Let's go.
I'm feeling
That's
So-
how it can change, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're probably like at that point,
That's
you
like
could have
that.
given up,
It's
but
basically
you
2
keep
weeks.
going, and it's
We went in the I think it was like May and June. Went in and started on the album with all these songs we did in America, and to them in the studio, what with Big Ross through June, July. You think, man, this is incredible. Like, you're in summer, it's good weather for a change in Scotland, making this album, and then the booking agent from America phones us again, and it's like August or September. He said, Roger Federer, his manager, he's doing this thing called the Laver Cup. I was like, what's the Laver Cup? It's like the Ryder Cup, but for tennis. They're doing it in Chicago. Do you guys want to play the opening ceremony? I've sent them like a shit ton of bands, and he's picked you, he likes you the best. Oh, I just
Is that do we need to pay for our flights?
I was like, didn't he go? I was on holiday as well. I was like, oh, fuck, I need to go, man. So we end up going.
So it happens as
I
only
bet
two of
goes
you
it-
in the band.
Oh,
Basically, we want you to do the opening ceremony, and we want to do the closing ceremony. So we want to play the song called "The One" at the start, opening up. 12,000 folk at the United Centre.
He's been kind. 25,000 folk.
Was it?
25,000
so
folks.
it was 25, and then I want you to finish it. So 2 songs, if that's all right. And they're going to pay you $25,000.
I know.
What our life basically just like from
Flipped.
the get go just flipped upside down.
Mad, innit?
So we're going to America again. All these stories, our wives are always at home,
I
and
know.
we're just jetting about.
oh no.
We're jetting about everywhere.
So we landed in Chicago, right? So I was on holiday in Florida, got to Chicago, and there's a guy standing with the sign, Alan. So I've just walked right by him. That's not for me. Walked right by. I said, phone Stevie. I says, where are you? And he's like, they picked me up at the airport. I was like, you're joking? I went by. It says, you for me? And the guy's looking at me, and he's like,
Sure,
you
mate.
Alan? I says, I'm Alan. He says, yeah, you're with me. And this big, massive Cadillac 7-seater Jeep. I'm going, this is just for me, man. Unbelievable.
Class.
Where's the security?
It's funny, you take the boys out of Scotland, you can't
Oh,
take
you
Scotland
can't,
with
man.
boys.
It's
unreal.
Just how you're saying about wives at home, obviously we go and do photo shoots and that, and like, my missus is back home and I'm cutting about like in villas and
Aye.
beaches
Aye.
and stuff like that, having a wee beer and that here and there. She thinks you're a jolly up, but
Yep.
obviously you're grafting as
But
well.
it's
It
part
doesn't
of-
look
it's
great
part of
on
the-
that
part of the
social
job.
media.
It's
so-
part of the-
That's the thing about that's what obviously I wanted to ask you about social media and stuff like that, and how you have like using that platform to kind of grow the the brand and the awareness and stuff like that, because that's how we've grown our brand.
Aye,
It's just
aye.
socially, like simply through social media.
It's all sort of social media. Obviously, right back in the day, using footballs to promote it, and then obviously it's a new social media comes on, it's jumping on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, like TikTok now, you guys are massive on that.
You're in the background.
Listen, I'm not allowed on it. I'm bad. He
he's a
changes the
camera holder.
password every week. He changes the password every week. He's a control freak.
So
It's
like,
class though.
we
The
were-
content's important. It's good. It's good.
But we were kind of like, so after all that stuff, in 2019 we did the album. We went and toured with Youngblood, and that was the first time we got to really see about social media and how that can propel you.
Did Youngblood use social media well? Is that sort of
Unbelievable.
He is a genius.
Master of it.
Genius. We played. He's just gives the fan. We said to him, so listen, we were trying to start again. We added Wee John, the guitarist, to our live repertoire, and that just completely changed what we were all about. We managed to figure out this is what we were all about. But we went on tour with Youngblood. We're on his tour bus, unbelievable, and you're getting to see. I mean, at the time, he's hitting 1 million followers on Instagram. This is 2019. My manager's like, hey, copy him, do what he's doing. I was like, but he's a young wee guy. We're a bit older, we're different brand, different thing.
Yeah.
So we said to him, I said, what would you advise us? He says, well, you're like my family. I don't know why you're not doing the brother stuff on your social media. He said, I just see you two brothers who make everybody laugh, make people feel good.
See how he listened to that and ends up doing it himself.
So, but
he's like, I'm the funny one. I make people feel good.
He's we played a show in Dallas, and he's for start stop 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Gets off stage. I'm in the tour bus. He comes in and he's knackered because he's doing show after show after show, and he's doing meet and greets and he's doing radio and all that. So well, I said, Dom, I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it. He's like, 2 seconds. Grabs his phone, Instagram story. All right, man, that was the fucking best show ever. Fucking hell, he's a fucking love yous. Fucking see you tomorrow. What you saying, mate? And he was like, turns it on,
just like a switch.
Almost some social media.
But you have to do it. Yes, I'm saying, you see how important it is when he's doing that, and you go, it's the relatability. And he's like, I'm speaking to my fans. It's like a TV show. They want to watch me, and I need to give it to them. I can't just be like, oh, here's me just moping about. Or
I think social media has changed over time, where like me and Mark, being like you said, being a bit older than like the audience that we're maybe trying to attract with the clothing and stuff like that. And it's like over time, it's like, I didn't want to be on the camera. I don't want to be in the camera. And probably about a year ago, we were actually like, we're probably going to need to try this.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Yeah.
Like, and let's do it and see how it goes and see how people relate to it. And I think people are actually saying, well, it's not just these guys on photo shoots that are walking about beaches.
They're
actually
normal guys.
They want to see what goes into what you do, don't they? That's what they're interested in.
And
Obviously, they love your songs or they love the clothing, but it's like, how does it come to that stage? Do you know what I mean? And they love to see that process.
That's
feel
definitely
affiliated with it as well. Do you know what I mean?
Because they'll like everything's about relatability. Or I'm like that guy. I'm like that guy. Or I like their story. They're just grafters who start an idea.
Like looking at our models, for example, there's no many boys like our models. If you, do you know what I mean?
Like,
the boys that we hire to do the photo shoot, we hire them because the stuff looks class on them. Good looking guys, and the stuff looks magic. But if you walk around town, there's not too many boys that are like this.
It's setting that kind of standard. But the social media thing is, it's like 2 years ago, our manager Alistair, they signed Nathan Evans, the Wellerman guy, who's a good friend of ours. So Nathan's story was like, postman, started doing TikToks through COVID. Somebody in the comment section said, you should do a sea shanty. So I'll give it a try. Sea shanty, viral, boom. Mad. Number 1, 10 weeks in America, number 1 in UK, touring all over the world.
Yeah, it's mental.
It's massive.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad the power it's got.
It's insane. And Alistair said to me, you need to use TikTok. And I says, I ain't using TikTok. I says, my son uses TikTok. My niece uses TikTok to do dancing. I ain't using it. He said, trust me, just use it. So we start doing cover versions.
I get banned.
We start doing cover versions. and then you get the views back.
Yeah.
200 views, 300 views. I'm like, this is hurt my feelings.
Nobody's what 200,000 or 200
200 views.
Aye, and then right.
So I'm like, nobody's want to watch
Nobody
me.
cares.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch me. I'm thinking everybody wants to hear me talk.
It's unbelievable how similar it is.
Yeah, it's mad.
So I was like, I'm not doing this. I said to my manager, I'm not doing it. He said, just stick with it. So I said, if I'm going to use it, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not just going to do it because I'm doing covers and singing and and nobody's bothered. So it's all this Scottish stuff, Scottish words and Scottish phrases and all the rest.
Scottish towns.
Scottish towns. So I was like, okay, in the studio. So how Scottish people say these words? Because my mum gave us this wee Evening Times phrase book. It was about maybe 300 Scottish words in the English equivalent. So I did a video. Next minute, 100,000 views. Unbelievable. Then his followers, I went to like 300 followers to 3,000, dead fast. So I do another
and the
one.
views were going up, and then Stevie Seed kept going like that.
It's mad though, because you wanted to show how well you can sing and how well you do what you do.
Although we cannot do that anyway.
But it's weird though that like the thing that people follow you for isn't that, but then it helps what you do, isn't it?
Exactly as similar as we'd go on photo shoot. We were in Palma this time last year. I got 2 models strutting about the front in Palma. Class video, content, sunny day, looks brilliant. Put it up on TikTok. 200 views.
Aye.
He's just like
we were like that. TikTok's not for us.
Not for us.
TikTok's not for a brand. You
Yeah.
use it, and then you just come across one thing, and it's obviously the street styling for us, and it just blows up, and then it's like, oh, we've got something that works, and I guess it must have been the same for you.
A wee guy in the street
well.
just trying on a
100%.
top, and then he says something funny, and straight away, like,
Have you? I mean, how since you started the brand, have you come up with any styles or anything that hasn't worked? Anything that you maybe thought like this and
clothing
style.
We've had products and we're like, that's going to smash it. That looks class. You take a photo. I think it was going to do well, and it comes out and doesn't sell. And then there's other things you're like, that's minging. What we're making that for? And it
biggest seller.
flies.
So that's TikTok.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
What you think is going to work won't work, and it's mad.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all that. Like, the worst bit about TikTok is, see when you're promoting your new single, your new music, and you go and do something class, and nobody likes it. And then I'm doing a thing with about a duet about a guy eating a prawn cracker, saying you go to Greg's, mate, like 10 million views or something. And I'm like, what planet I'm on? But then I showed him a video last week.
That was genius.
And this guy's saying, hate to tell yous, he's talking about music artists on TikTok. Hate to tell you, nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. God's honest truth. So stop thinking that by you get an amazing voice and do this, nobody cares. What you've got to do, it's an audition process. You've got to get these people into your world. Do whatever you can, and once they're in, maybe get 1 million followers, 2 million. That small percentage, 10%, whatever, might go, I'm a fan of this guy.
Yeah.
And it's just bringing people, traffic to your shop.
It's usually something that stands out. Like, so Stephen and Cairo will be out doing the TikToks, and you can, like, a guy came along with this one that's sort of got the most views, and he called it like a giblet. And he's like, oh, do you like my giblet? And like, as soon as he says that, like, obviously we didn't think at the time.
We were like, what are you talking about, man? And
What the fuck's a giblet?
Get this guy up.
But then, because we were like that, everyone else on TikTok's like that. What the fuck's he talking about?
Yeah.
Then the comments start like, who's he?
Who's that?
What's he talking about?
The guy was brand new as well. He was a good guy.
Really
Like, you know what, the way TikTok, he's a rocket. What's he saying that for? Like,
is giblet not chicken or something like that?
So then the comments, so then all it does is just snowballs how many views it gets.
I purposely do that on the Scottish words. I say things differently. I do it so people just.
It's not even that though. You get East Coast, West Coast, like completely different. Like, even though the one we put up last week, like when you're walking, your trousers are too short. West of Scotland say your cats are dead.
I've seen that.
But then East is like budgies, and I was like, fucking budgie. And he's like, I'm gonna go and say this. And there's like 5,000 comments on it saying, I say budget, it's cats, and they're all arguing in the comments. You're like, fucking hell.
The thing is what's that got to do with music? Absolutely nothing. But what it does do is show a personality. So my personality, you're on tape.
No, the worst it is, we jump on. No, to be fair, we jump on a live or put up something. People say, you're in a band? What's your band called? The page on there is called Saint Phoenix, and people still say, oh, you're in a band? What's your band called?
I think my name's Saint.
Saint.
Let's go on, Saint.
Why is Phoenix never on
I
camera?
know.
Jeez, oh man.
Then Phoenix is my second name.
I know. Ben Hayhouse changed his name.
But so I'd say this to any band.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on TikTok, then you might as well give up.
Mm-hmm.
Even with music just now, it's
Dictates
the
everything.
worst.
I think Lewis Capaldi done really, like, he was kind of started that social media thing
'Cause it
where
sort
he
of
was
showed
posing in
himself,
his house.
didn't he?
He was wearing like clothes and dressing up in his house. wasn't he?
Personality.
Personality.
To be mysterious and try and be cool and try and be this, and then I think he just got to the point where he thought, I just want to talk about jobbies.
Do you know the first memory I've got of Lewis Capaldi is when he went down somewhere. I can't remember what it was. They flew him down. He's in a hotel room and he was getting a pint to his room.
That's right.
And
Aye.
his video was like, I'm getting a pint to my room. That's the first memory I've got of Lewis
I always
Capaldi.
remember, was it the shell suit he had on
it's brilliant, man.
in his bedroom or
With
something
his
like
sunglasses
that?
on.
Did somebody
Aye.
send him a shell suit or something like that?
They're
He just sort of blew up. He just blew
Superb,
up on
man.
social media, didn't he? Before I
Yeah,
even
I love
remember any songs, I remember the fact
Yeah.
that
It's because
Stuff
see the
like that.
personality, like getting told that like try this, try that. You don't know until you just. Some people are connecting because he's honest. He's being himself. That listen, what you see is what you get with Lewis. It's hilarious. Like you don't think he takes anything serious.
It's like you should have been videoing yourself getting all that free food, man.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Honestly, I'm going to be a food critic. I swear to God.
To be fair, like
That could be your side of the business for TikTok. That's
That's what I'm saying. I put my Stevie's like, you need to create your own profile. I was like, oh, man, right, fine, just 2 followers. It's like, that's it. leaving it, not doing
my
it.
Maureen's wife.
Didn't give up.
That's it. I know. But people don't know. Lewis has been doing what he's been doing since he was 12 years old. He supported our first band in Bathgate.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So his
I watched his Netflix documentary.
Oh,
Brilliant,
yeah.
man.
It's-
so
it's-
good.
that's a gives you a complete insight to what happens.
I felt so bad. Like I feel so bad for like watching that from a point of view. Like he feel like he's so successful. I was saying to them earlier, he's so successful, but he feels under so much pressure to then go and do it again. Do you guys get like obviously with a wee bit of like success of like your songs have come out and they've done really well? Do you feel that pressure to then, or do you relish that?
Like you said, you've been in obviously Nashville doing recording.
Yeah.
So then does that pressure then, like Mark's saying, come for the next album? It's like
Well, it has to be.
it's almost
has to
like,
be as good
I've
as.
got to be better.
Aye.
I've got to
So
be
like
better.
we have like
You're also treating every song you release as like this is going to be the next one. So you're putting so much effort in, and sometimes it's it's up and down. Sometimes like the first 2 weeks you think, oh, it's not done, and that's everybody hates me. That's
how
it.
much the
Pack
like
it
a
in.
line, like we're selling clothes, but you're selling music. It's like it's just a line. It aligns so much because like
same
we're looking at the
blueprint
next
pretty much.
season.
Isn't it?
You're like, well,
Blueprint,
this season has to be. You're one season away from being a disaster.
That's what I'm saying. You're putting that your heart and soul into like
disaster.
the next one, and you're going keep doing it. And to see there's like TikToks, it's mental that songs released 3-4 years ago are coming back.
Yeah.
So you're like, no song is dead anymore. No song, and it's like
It's almost
does
like
it
what you
matter?
said before, staying in the game, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
if you stay in the game, you're always going to come across
Yeah.
another good song
Yeah.
along the lines.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
It's all about that. Just keep active, keep yourself out there, and it's the biggest thing is the way I've learned is, which is kind of good for us. Don't take yourself too seriously. I seen this thing on TikTok. It was called Cringe Mountain, and it's like all the cool people that people just love and have millions of followers and people love have went up that way. Right, and the cringe is like the top of the mountain, so they're on this side, and everybody's down here laughing at you going up. But see, when you get over the other side, that's when you start to be cool, and that's what I try to tell my son when I'm doing TikToks. I'm halfway up cringe mountain here.
when I get to the
Mum, we're
top,
just coming down, but you start to realise if you don't keep it people thinking, just do it, and you see the results and see that it's actually working. Because when we started doing TikToks, I don't know if I can. I'm too old for this, man. I can't do that. But then you announce a show and it sells out in Gala Shields. When I didn't know Gala Shields had existed, and then Aberdeen sells out, and then Barrowland sells out in a day. And where our EP's on sale, and next minute it's sold out. The CDs are sold out. We need to order more CDs, and it's all because I'm doing TikTok lives and I'm putting TikTok up and I'm doing the Scottish words, but then dropping the wee thing in at the end saying buy my CD. It's so powerful. And if you, for instance, as well, our brother who lives in Australia, he does singer-songwriter stuff. Really great voice, struggling musician. I'm saying, why are you not doing TikTok? I said, I'm not doing that. I says, I think there's something like worldwide 2 billion TikTok users. There's probably about 300, 400, 500,000 Dave Jukes fans on there. and because you're not using it because you're seeing all these other folk, you're neglecting that. So they're looking for you, but you need to get on there so they'll find you.
It's what we say all the time. It's like you can have. We talk about product, obviously, but you can have the best product in the world or the best music in the world or whatever, but if nobody knows about it doesn't matter.
What's the point?
That's like
What's the
what
point
social media, like TikTok does. It like gives you a platform to reach people first and foremost, and then once you've reached them, then you can show them what you've got.
A million %.
All thing is that you're saying the clothes and the music very, very similar. Like you're putting your heart and soul into something that's the next thing. So you're trying to set a trend. So we're like, you get fast fashion and stuff with people releasing stuff. You go, that's pretty cool. You get people just jumping on it. I'll do that. Same thing happens with us with music. You hear somebody releasing something on a Friday and you go, oh man, that's brilliant, or that's shite. Or the ones that are brilliant to stand out, you go, oh, maybe we should try and do something like that. But then you think, Stevie always says, like, nah, we need to be like one step ahead. They need to be copying us. So you're trying to do something. It's a bit edgy and you think it's a risk. But
night vision.
If you
night vision, no risk,
no reward.
Night vision on when designing the next product. Night vision.
It's kind of like doing something that you see and then putting your like the Saint Phoenix twist on it, and moving on a little.
Yeah,
bit. That's we again. That's everything that we have to do.
Everybody's kind of like when we were on tour with Youngblood, we were outside venues and kids had camped out 2 nights in a row just to get in the queue, and they're all get the mascara on, their hairs are all dyed pink and all the rest of it, and they're looking at him like a natural god, like an icon. And some of the stuff I'm saying, well, I listen to David Bowie and like more recently My Chemical Romance and stuff like that. He's basically taking all his inspirations and putting his Youngblood stamp on it. That's all he's doing. But these wee kids are seeing it for the first time and thinking, he's created this. This is unbelievable. Same with Calvin Harris and Ellie Goulding, that Miracle song. All the kids are going, I've never heard something like this before. This is amazing. But it's Robert Miles and...
It's been around before.
It's been so it's just putting a new stamp on it.
So who inspired you boys, like when you're obviously younger, inspiring to do what you can do?
Come on, bro. How's your time, bro?
That's a question we try to ask people, like obviously because we call it inspiration. It's like, what inspires you?
Our dad is.
I know it's going to sound cheesy, but 100%.
It's interesting. We done the street styling last week. Me, Cairo, and Mark were out on Buchanan Street, and I think out of the 5 people we pulled, I think 3 or 4 of them had said
the parents.
Your song, "The Happy Place," is about your
dad,
isn't it? And like, obviously, I wanted to ask, like, it's obviously a difficult subject, but did you find it difficult writing that song, or did it like help? Or and you must be incredibly proud of that song as well.
It's basically, we've realised now 2 years later it was complete therapy doing it. We were in, so the album we're going to release, we were in the studio, he was in the house, so we would take all the songs that we were doing on the album into him, because it was his favourite thing to listen to what his boys were doing in the studio next door, and he would always, it's like total X Factor. My son's the best. My son's he would never, he would go, that's number one, man. That's number one written over it.
He used to say, like,
ego boost coming out.
You see, what you think, so maybe just like play a few gigs and you say, well, where'd you want to play? And you would say, imagine doing like Ibrox or something like that. And you go, come on, that's aim bigger though. I think bigger. And you go, what? You just dream a wee thing, man. Just go and do it. So he would put that thought in our head, and we'd go and play these songs. So when he got diagnosed with the illness, he kept coughing, especially in the cold weather. We said, go to India, because you all liked India, or go to Spain, go and live out there, come back during the summer. He says, no, your mum has always wanted to build a house. It's my dream. It's her dream thing. So we've got this house up at Kilkeggy, which is near Lanark, and it looks out to, you've got the Tweedsmuir Hills, you've got Tinto Hill, you've got some of the Pentlands there as well. Incredible view. So he built the house, and we're up there working in the studio. So I'd come in, and he got a lung function test that week, and it was the percentage of his lungs had dropped, and he was hoping that it would stay the same, because if it stayed the same, they were going to give him this clinical trial, but it dropped, so he wasn't getting the clinical trials, just because of COVID as well, kind of prolonged things, and his mood was kind of down. But I walked in, and I just seen him sitting in his seat looking at the window at the house, and I was just chilling. I thought, I'm not going
not going to interrupt her. I'm just going to chill. I was kind of taken aback by it. So I went to the studio and I says, what did you see my dad doing, man? He's just chill. I said, I got an idea for a song. So I started playing the chorus. Over the hills and far away, looking out for a better day. And when it seems like there's no escape. And he just turns to me and goes, take me to my happy place.
That's class.
There you go.
I was lying on the couch playing Angry Birds.
There he's what? Here's the man with the computer games again, isn't he?
But we never finished. That was just the chorus.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember recording the demo and driving home, listening to cry my eyes out, and saying I can't write the verse, but my dad dying, and that's just too sad. So we just left it, completely left it. Didn't tell him about anything. We wrote it, and then Christmas night he got taken into hospital. Alan was living with my mum and dad at the time because they'd bought a house and they were moving in. So he got taken into Christmas night in the hospital, and because of COVID we couldn't go and see him. But a week into the hospital, he said, "How's FaceTiming you? How is the music coming on?" I was like, "We can't do music, man. Music, we were worried sick about you." He says, keep going. Don't worry about me, I'll be here tomorrow. Keep going." So went and finished the verses for the song. First time, and we really learned it, and this we were talking about at the start, about being authentic. Like, no holds barred, just bare your soul, bare what you're feeling. And we did that. Couldn't write it. The Ross, our producer, he came up, we recorded it all, did the vocal on it, got back that night to the hospital, got back from the studio to the house when I'd just finished the vocal, and then we get a phone call and you come see your dad, he's not going to last the night. So we got to the hospital. It was me, Al, my mum and my sister.
Dave's on FaceTime.
He's in Australia, and we got to play him Happy Place. We got to play him the whole song. So as you can imagine, getting our eyes out and just saying what we wanted to say to him. And he passed away. The next day I was talking to our managers and just telling him, obviously, Dad's passed away, etc. I said, listen, telling him the story. I said, we wrote this song. He said, I didn't know you wrote this song. He says, can I hear it? I says, no bother. So sent him the song. And then he text me back. I don't know if I thought, fucking, this is the worst song I've had in my life. Right? That cheeky bastard. And then a couple of days later, so listen, Atlantic Records want to sign this. I think it's brilliant. So that was the first. That was after rejecting a major record deal right at the start. 6 years later, we actually signed
it's
to.
Almost like you're part of your story,
yeah,
isn't
it?
Like
we signed. We did it. But when that came out, when we knew it was coming out, we just thought we have to do our dad proud. Everything. So kind of the grieving process get put on hold, and we thought we just got to do this, and just put all our efforts into it, and that's what we did.
It's such an amazing tribute to him, and I think everyone's got like that happy place, so it probably resonates with a lot of people as well.
I mean, the amount of messages we get from people saying I've lost my dad or my mum or a partner or something like that, or it could be something like saying my wee boy loves this song, he just sings it all day and it makes you happy.
People playing at their first dance at their weddings, just
class.
Yeah, so
brilliant.
bonkers.
But, feeling that.
And it's amazing, like when you're saying what inspires you, like real life inspires songs and moments and creating something, especially creative on yourself. Why did you want to start a clothing brand? What inspired you guys? What was it that made you?
Don't remember this being out of the interview. I wasn't ready for that question.
In their career, what we're going to do next?
True.
We're a football career of like Premier League, Scottish Premier League. Unless you're playing for Rangers and Celtic, you've got to think what's next.
Absolutely.
We were just probably like, he was over in Thailand, and I was like, surely there's something, a bit of wheeling and dealing. Surely something in Thailand I can sell here. So
I was always into like eBay and stuff like that. Buying and selling. If there was a can of Coke, I'd buy it for 50p and sell it for £1. I was always into that.
And I always thought, like, if you could get like £1 million, like £1 off 1 million people, do you know what I mean? I always thought you can't be that different. So it was always sort of things like that, and then you just end up sending t-shirts for a stall.
T-shirts for a stall.
We were selling loads
Printed
of them.
T-shirts. We're selling them. He was up at Ross County at the time, selling it to the boys in the dressing room.
And then,
Amazing.
and then I went to Stranraer, like I was injured, I got a bad injury, so I went down to Stranraer and I remember going on Monday and Wednesday nights with a boot full of like T-shirts and that, just selling it all the boys.
Brilliant.
And
That was just like you say, we were just winging it. We were trying to bridge that
Mad.
gap between going from full-time football to part-time football to having a job,
Yeah,
to starting this hobby, be inspired,
yeah.
to then 6 months to a year later getting our first office. This is our full-time job, and we've done it for this is our 10th year doing it now.
Unbelievable.
Say we're just hanging on in the game, just hanging
Staying
in there.
in
as
the
well.
game.
Stay
in
as long as you
game,
can. And I'd like to say that I think the brand's looking as good as ever.
Yeah,
but
100%.
We've been
amazing.
We've been speaking about that lately. So
And you find that like people do think it's come out of nowhere, but people don't know you've been doing it for
Yeah,
10
so
years and
that
grafting
picture-
in the story for
totally.
selling about.
So
and all
that picture you get with the iceberg,
Aye,
you
mate,
see it and
that's
it's
so
like,
often we talk about that all the time. Everyone just sees that and goes,
Yeah.
I want to start a clothing brand, or I want to start
Aye.
a band, or I
Mhm.
want to be a footballer.
Oh.
And they just see like
I was
this,
speaking.
and then they start and then they go realise it's no that.
Yeah.
You gotta go through all this hard, like, all that shite. You're talking about like wading through that sea of shite to get
I was
to the
speaking.
other side.
You remember Craig Conway that played for the
Aye,
United?
aye,
So
yeah.
I was speaking to him on Saturday. He was at Tannadice before the game.
Mhm.
Scotch Cup winner. He was legend up at Dundee United, and he was saying that I found out for myself a clothing brand how tough
Aye,
it actually was.
aye.
He's a football agent now since he's retired with Blackburn. And he was just saying, like, you didn't realise like all the work that goes into was to get in. Because a customer only sees that photograph on a website,
Yeah,
but they didn't see that build up that's
It's
gone
easy
towards
to-
it.
it must be easy to get that photo.
Yeah, how do you? But
The
it's-
biggest thing's the perseverance, and you guys
Yeah.
are testament to that. And we like to think, well, again, keep going,
No.
because you don't know what's run. Like the many times we've been thought we're dead now, or this isn't going the way it's going, and then next minute you get a wee email. We're big into. My dad was always big into the manifestation and the secret and visualizing what you want to do. And basically, he used to say to us every Christmas, "See you next year." Next year's going to be unbelievable. And I was like, what's happening next year? He said, I know. So I don't know, but I just know it's going to be unbelievable.
That's class.
And we just keep saying, talk. So our goal was always Tina Park happened, sign a major record deal happened,
yeah.
get in the charts, get number one in Scotland, and then it was like Barrowlands. So we're constantly talking about the hydro. So we want to play the hydro. We want to play the hydro. That's our thing. So we're talking about it and telling people. So he keeps saying we're doing the hydro. I was like, okay, keep talking about the hydro. I went to see Biffy Clyro at the hydro about 2 months ago. And there I was in the back seats. I text him, this place is fucking massive, by the way. So a lot of tickets to sell.
I was there the other day actually. We've seen Kevin Hart. It was class.
I text him.
Someplace.
Ibrox next. That's it.
I just keep
Would you
going.
like
Next
to-
one.
Obviously, talk about football. You wrote a song about Rangers getting to the.
Yes.
the Euro.
Oh.
Did you go to the game? Like,
What honest to God, what an
This
experience.
podcast is going to be 10 hours long.
amazed.
I don't know.
I'm surprised the boys have they cut it.
I just
We
wanted to ask
don't,
that
mate.
'cause-
I talk for, I can talk for a
we know.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
See,
bursted
because
that.
because we used to play football, right?
Yeah.
Football, I obviously wanted to ask you about that because there's not many. There's probably like bands and football sort of go together well, but I don't know many bands that have gone and wrote like a song like that.
It was,
about-
again, winged it.
This
Total winged
guy, genius, but also biggest idiot ever.
This is dead truth. That's a dead honest truth.
Really good pals with Scott Arfield, and he's Scott's best guy ever. Took us to a couple of games and stuff like that, and through that, folk know we're posting about Rangers and we're Rangers fans. And one of the guys messages Stevie and says, "Do you want to do the Legends game?" It was like the half-time show. So I would do the half-time show. That'd be class. We went and played the half-time Legends game. I was like, that's unbelievable. So it was after that was the Leipzig away. So they put up a thing, Make Us Dream, on the socials. So Stevie's like, fucking unbelievable, Make Us Dream. And we ended up, was it drawn? Was the draw or win?
No, we get beat.
We get
He
beat.
scored in the last 5 minutes or something.
And then it was the home game. So Stevie texts the guy and did in the Legends and said, "Do you need a band for next week?"
I might get a half-time show.
Right.
I says, right, because I'm wanting tickets for the tickets for
Can
the
I
game.
get tickets? So the guy's like, yeah, we can do the fan zone. Stevie's like, fucking fan zone. He's like, can we get tickets? And get tickets. It's like, right, brilliant. So we were absolutely buzzing. And I've never seen Stevie play a set so quick in all my life. 3 songs. He quit at 2.5. Every Saturday we follow. Ready to do the
Thank
last.
you very much. See
the
you,
last
see you
chorus.
next.
See
See
you
you later.
later. So where you going? He went, choking for a pint.
Go for a pint. I'm nervous for the game. So we can watch the game. Leipzig 3-1. Unbelievable. Best game I've ever been to. just everything was great. Just the guy Dave that works at Rangers, we're always hugging and celebrating. I'm sinking the pints in the hospitality, and a wee bit wobbly legged. And I says to him, it's Davo. So we hear a song I've wrote for the Rangers. He says, tell me. It's called Make Us Dream. He went, oh my God.
Had you wrote it or were you just making up on the spot?
I'm looking at him going.
So he says, I've written a song called Make Us Dream. He said, I love it. I says, we need to go on this. I says, it'll be in your inbox in the morning. See you later. Right. So the next minute, we managed to get to Scotty Arfield in Stephen Davis's box. I was fucking spraying champagne everywhere. What a night, brilliant. Just keep drinking. So my manager phones me. He calls us the Gears. You know the Gears. He said, oh, how'd the Gears got on? Try to be funny. And I was like, he said, it's unbelievable. I said, by the way, I've wrote this song for Rangers. Because I'm just thinking all of a sudden it's real now. So I wrote this song. It's brilliant. So I wake up in the morning, 2 emails. One email for Rangers. How you doing? Copied in the whole marketing team. Told them about your song called Make Us Dream. We want to jump on it. There's not a lot of time limit. Can you please send the version over? We want to get in right. Second email. Mark Feynman to all the heads of Atlantic Records around the world. The boys have secured the official theme tune to the Europa League final. This is urgent. Urgent. This has to. You've got a wild hangover as well, haven't you? I am. What's he talking about? What is it? What is it? Make Us Dream. So everyone came to me and I was like, Alan, I've messed up here. This is not the first time I've done something like this. I said, right, okay. So I phoned my manager. I says, listen, I've not wrote a song. I just was having a laugh. I was inspired, all right, but I didn't really do anything. He's like, you need to get on it. So went up to the studio. So our manager is a friend of ours. He manages a guy called Sam Roman who wrote Someone You Loved by Luis Capaldi. So we've written a couple of songs with him. So I phoned him. I said, I need your help. Just give us a bit of sauce. Give us a bit of sauce. So we just start. We're in the studio. He's in FaceTime. He's in LA. And we start writing. He started doing stuff for the melody, and we just basically in the space of about an hour had Make Us Dream. So we start recording it and start putting it together, and then I sent it to Rangers. We're all over this. But then we're thinking, Rangers fans football fans are
in general
cut
Twitter as well.
So this could be brilliant or it could be a disaster. So we made did a wee video how we made it, and it goes viral and everybody loves it. And then Rangers, we got
it goes viral as well because you've got the other side of the coin saying, aye.
So then straight away you get like right into it as well. See, because you're Rangers fan, do you know what I mean? Obviously, and you're right in it. That's probably what helps it.
Well, it's authentic again. It's real. It's like it's a genuine thing. So we release it. We get it all good to go. We put it out. Scotty Arfield says he's got a couple of tickets for you if you want them for Seville. Shoot you in.
We'll swim, whatever you want.
Go. Do whatever.
Where's there?
At that time we were booking it. We were driving to Bristol, to Almeria. Where else
well, basically
we were driving halfway across everywhere.
It's mad what people did to get to that.
We were all over, and then Jimmy Bell had just passed away before the Leipzig game. So Jimmy's from Russia, and his daughter messaged us and said, "Would love you to play my dad's funeral. Would you play Happy Place?" And you joking? I'd be absolutely honoured to sing. It's the Friday after the final. So in my head, I thought, like, we can't get back our flights the Saturday. I said, listen, we'll be there. 100% we'll be there. So I said, man, we literally have to drive to Seville and leave that night and drive back. But luckily enough, we explained the situation to the club, and they put us on a corporate flight with everybody. So just by chance.
Just to say this on just a asterisk here, wasn't he free, by the way?
It wasn't free. I thought it was free.
We then got an invoice after it, just to let you know. But I thought it was free.
We can tell the story now anyway. So the flights were like 800 quid each return to Seville, and the Dean somebody abstaining and the rest of it. So we emailed the record label and say, you ever seen this guy with the football vlogs, Thogden and all the rest of it? We want to capture this. It's going to cost us X amount, blah. And I said, just fine, we'll pay it. So we had it, all expenses paid trip. for
I
the
don't know
fights.
if you can say that.
Ah, you can, doesn't matter. So
You said it there.
we get
it's
there,
done. It's done.
we get there to Seville, we land in, people at the airport saying, Phoenix, why buy you a pint? Bum, bum, bum. The day of the final, you're walking up the fan zone, Maker's Dreams playing everywhere. We're looking at the streaming numbers, it's going off its tits.
That's class.
We're like,
To be
this
fair,
is-
we've got this on a GoPro. It's literally the full
Did you video the whole thing?
Videoed the full
and it's
thing.
never put it up because of the result.
Because you get
But,
beat.
fuck.
It's amazing when you watch the
the
footage.
whole
back.
day. We'll
You
probably
should
put
fire
it
it up.
We will fire up. But we're at the stadium. See when Aribo scored, we're just jubilant. I mean, I went to Manchester against Zenit with my old man, so I'm lucky to be able to 2 finals.
You're not going back. You've been beat
I know,
twice,
I'm
man.
shocking. But I'm thinking to myself, why win the Europa League? I said, this song could go to number 1.
I wasn't even
Just
thinking of that.
daft.
See, do you know, daft is-
All these things just hitting your head.
when Rebo scored, I felt like I was watching myself in the crowd. Do you know that way? It was like an out of body experience. I was going, what is going on here? We've just scored.
I was watching all your clothes come off.
I know. To be fair, he was laughing at that
So,
point.
and then obviously it wasn't to be. Was you fly home?
That was the one that Kent missed that chance
The
right at
last
the end,
minute.
wasn't
My mate put that up in WhatsApp the other day and went, sorry to ruin everybody's weekend. And I just fucking left the chat.
I feel bad now because there's nothing else he can do there.
Oh,
Like he's
just
just
keep
lost
leg
his
out,
balls
aye.
to get there, and he's got his foot on it. Brilliant. It's
Aye.
just one of the things, isn't it?
Oh,
I must haunt him, man. I'd be
Just
thinking
one.
of that.
It's like we thought. You think you're going to win that because you've beat Dortmund and you've beat big teams.
That was some run, wasn't it?
just
was
the run, and then
unbelievable.
everything that happens, you get Walter Smith passed away that year, Jimmy Bell, and you get, I mean, it's 150 years, it's the same kind of,
We were-
there's the last time with Barcelona, and
And then we came home, and the Sunday, he phones me. I was at the Five Sisters Zoo with the wee man, and he phones me and goes, "That was it Capital
Big
FM,
Top 40.
Big Top 40?" He said, they just played Make Us Dream. A wee clip of it. I says, "What are they doing that for?" I says, "They've no way been in the
I know.
charts." He said, "I'm telling you, we're in the top 10." I says, "No way."
I know.
He said, so I said, "I've turned it on." So it gets to number 5. Who's number 5? Some big song.
It's Lizzo.
Lizzo and
and
Harry
George
Styles
Ezra.
or something like that, and George Ezra. And it was and here's a curveball for you. Rangers got to the Europa League final, and
Some accent now.
the
I was like, where's this guy from?
Clive Tinsley.
and then it was he said number 3, Make Us Dream. So it got to number 3. I'm making a risotto in the kitchen. I watch this back, laughing my ass off.
That's brilliant.
But it was just.
It would have took over. Genuinely, if it would have won it, it would have took over.
Aye. But listen, it wasn't
Aye,
me.
good
But we
experience,
had fun doing it and fun making it, and
See, when you're talking about the other side of it as well, we must have got about 2 or 3 comments, and that's unheard of. That even
Negative.
even Celtic fans messaging going, "I'm a Celtic fan, but this tune's absolutely amazing." And you go, "What? I've never
As
seen
a
this."
football fan, I think
Aye.
it resonates again with all football fans, doesn't it? Because when you watch your team, that's sort of
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's
See,
all about, isn't it?
escapism.
Yeah,
It's escapism and daring to dream. And we were a wee bit reluctant to just do it, and we thought, "Oh, I've already said I've got a tune, so
I
we'll just
know.
go for
Were
it."
you worried about sort of
Try-
tying yourself to sort of like obviously Glasgow? I know you want to be bigger than that, but it does sort of tie you to one or the other. Where you're not really bothered.
I'm putting
about
this out there.
No, well,
Putting this out there. We are the first proper band up here to go. Like, no apologies. This is who we
it.
support.
Aye.
Bands are following suit now.
Aye.
Too much of it is ridiculous. You look at Soccer AM, they're on a couch every week. Blossoms or any band, they all support somebody.
Yeah, yeah,
Why can't you say who you support?
exactly.
Aye,
Totally.
listen, if you're going to not listen to somebody's band because it team support, then fair enough. That's the way it goes.
aye.
But we've always been like, we don't like care.
Yeah.
We
I know.
just say we
Well,
support.
here's to a gig at Ibrox.
That's the next
hopefully.
step, man.
Class, man.
We've got the O2 Academy at the end of the year.
Oh, I need that O2 Academy.
Yeah,
Couple
there
I
you
was
go.
tickets
waiting on you,
left.
There
I'm
you
looking
go.
at you going,
Free plug for you.
Couple of tickets left.
So what's
there for
what's
us.
what's your highlight so far?
Barrowlands. Barrowlands
Barrowlands.
is
Oh.
probably.
Barrowlands.
It
Barrowlands.
looked, but I just seen some pictures, but it looked bouncing.
Epic.
Barrowlands is unbelievable.
Pinch Yourself stuff.
It's
Again,
obviously that your Happy Place song, like they're playing and
Doing
stuff like that.
trust us to book
Yeah.
the Barrowlands on an old firm.
Sorry, well,
Okay.
we never booked. We booked before. We booked
I get
before
moved
this.
for some reason. It ended up on the last game at Parkhead. So we're playing, and then we're getting tons of messages on Twitter because obviously we're Rangers fans saying that people think that we are a loyalist flute band playing the Barrowlands called St Phoenix. And they turn away, and then next minute we're seeing folks selling their tickets. And we're like, no, hey, whoa, we're no. We play
That's
good.
where social media.
We
can
play
be a bit
family tunes,
dangerous,
man.
eh?
We
It can
play
be a
family
bit-
tunes. It's a family show.
tunes.
Aye. So nothing happened there. It was all
But
fine.
even there's just got to say, like the hometown shows, you build it up. It's like a big. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe like with football, if it's like a big home game or whatever, and you build it up and you think,
pressure.
I need to do this, I need to do this. And half the time we come off gigs, he'll go, oh, that was no good, that was crap, I didn't like that bit, didn't like this bit, or the two years are cat and dog, whatever. That was the first time genuinely come off a show and went, that was fucking brilliant. The 3 years went, oh man, that was, can I do that again
Do
tomorrow?
you have that? Obviously, again, looking from a football point of view, you come off the park, didn't they play well? But like looking at a band, like I would never think that was a bad show or a good show, just because like you are so much better at doing that than what we would be. But do you have that on shows as well? Like, didn't he perform as well as I wanted to?
Yeah. Oh no, a lot of times to be fair,
It always see when you're in Europe, but every show is brilliant. Every show, because see when your managers come and your booking agents come, they and your
critique
family's
everything.
there,
Aye.
kind of sours it. See when you're just away,
Okay.
Just enjoying it.
It's just like we played Prague last year, called Rock for People, big festival. We were playing after Royal Blood on a smaller tent, and we were like, who's going to? It was like 11 o'clock at night at stage time. Like, who's going to come? So I was like, I'm just going to get rattled because it's going to be empty. Just getting the beers, man, and Jack Daniels having in this glorious sun. So we're about to go on, and 7,000 folk turn up to this tent.
Brilliant.
And
We only planned to play 45 minutes. They kept asking for more songs.
Aye,
They keep going back.
Got all the people what
That's,
they want.
again,
Yeah,
that's like growing that
Brilliant. So I'm only
market
getting
as
paid
well.
for 45, man. Jeez, oh man.
Salesman.
I know.
Salesman.
Second invoice part.
Second 45.
I know.
but it was unbelievable. And again, it's who you're relating to football. It's like just there's no pressure. You're just there to enjoy yourself when you do your thing. You enjoy it more, and because you're enjoying it more, the crowd enjoy it more. That's kind of the thing.
I think as well, playing in the old band, we used to like if somebody made a mistake, you would get angry on stage. Oh, he's fucking played the wrong chord, or I've mishit something or whatever, or I've dropped a drumstick, and you would all get annoyed. And you realise that if you're annoyed and unhappy or angry on stage, the crowd are unhappy and angry watching you, going, "Oh, what's going on?"
Aye.
Whereas now,
We just make a joke
The
about
crowd
it.
probably didn't even really realise. Do you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
you see bands do it all the time. They kind of
And
you
you
can see
realise
them.
that football when you make a bad pass.
Aye, true.
Oh, aye.
True. That big boo machine comes
a
on.
few moves about it, I tell you.
But you're at the stage now where if you make a mistake, you just forget
Laugh
about
it
it and
off.
just laugh.
I mean, the amount of times you've had to say, right, start that one again.
Right, we're going to hit a wrap it, mate.
I know that's a long time. Sorry, I do apologise. I talked too much.
Guys, that was brilliant. I
class.
really
I
enjoyed that.
that,
I really
man.
enjoyed listening.
That's the
Enjoying
podcast
it.
finished now, guys. If you want to wake up, say that.
We could almost
try
put
to
it in
Bo.
two. We need to part one and part two.
They both fell asleep as soon as you started talking.
Sorry about that.
No, I
Well,
appreciate it.
thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
having us.
having
We
us.
really
And
enjoyed
by the way,
it.
thanks for the
Thanks for the
all
kit.
No, well,
Looking
I'm
good.
doing a bit of
Amazing.
fitness work. Is that what yours?
Going to start doing the fitness vlogs.
I've started my fitness journey and started
Neil-
recording. He's still to do.
Need to lose a bit of
there you
timber.
go.
Try to look good for the new album. Get a couple of things planned. So
I will get along
Aye,
in next
Nicholas.
gig or whatever.
Well, no,
Nicholas,
yeah,
that'd be
let's
class.
get it
It's great
sorted.
to see
That'd be
sort of other Scottish people doing well on a world stage. So
Thank
it's
you.
Nice to
Class.
support.
thanks
people.
very much.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
Cheers,
Cheers.
cheers, lads. That was class.
Cheers.
Oh,
Awesome.
class, man.
Awesome.